Let Finishing Touch Floors restore your old wood floors. We offer sanding, refinishing, installation, and custom colored stains. With over 35 years experience, you need to call 321-396-2657. Let us put the finishing touch on your wood floors. For your free estimate, call 321-396-2657. That's 321-396-2657.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. The ad that just played a little while ago for Finishing Touch Floors has been kind of the talk, a little bit of a buzz, and I think it's because of Anthony's accent. I think everybody's walking around saying, forget about it. Everybody's doing this all of a sudden. You've got a catchphrase, and everybody's picking up on it. Anthony's in the studio. We actually got a phone call yesterday from a listener who wanted to know your phone number, and so I was just telling Anthony Robert about that phone call. He said, how'd you know I had somebody come over and check me?
Nice.
How did you know? He said to me. Anthony said, how did you know?
I said, how did you know?
I said we had a phone call.
Yeah.
There you go.
Robert is caught in the middle now between the
that's okay.
the two New York accents.
I like being in the middle of an Oreo.
It's not quite an Oreo.
Whatever, sandwich, whatever.
So Anthony LiCausi, right?
Yep, LiCausi.
Anthony LiCausi. You're the owner of Finishing Touch Floors, and so I have a quick wood floor story to tell you. My mom and dad decided they wanted a wood floor.
Okay.
They put it in.
Yeah.
It butted up against, I guess, the door jamb for the bathroom.
Okay.
So the toilet overflowed,
and
the water got under the wood floor.
That could be a problem.
That is a problem. So what do you? And they had to have it. Whatever they did.
Well, a lot of times when you have water damage, you really don't have to rip out the floor. That's what most people don't realize. Just because the board's cupped doesn't mean the floor's got to go. If it's real wood, I could sand it down back to bare wood and make it flat and nice, and you start over like a brand new floor. We refinish it, and you get a chance to change the color if that's what you want to do.
How long have you been here? I wish we knew you back then. How long have you been
I'm
here?
only here in Florida a little over a year now.
Oh, okay.
But I've been sanding floors since I'm 17 years old. So I'm over 30 years in the business.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And wood floors are making a comeback, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll always make a comeback because first off, they're there. And when you've got something that's of value sitting there already and you can just refresh it and save a lot of money.
Have you seen some of the historic homes in downtown Ocala?
As a matter of fact, I'm going, I think right after this to go look at one.
Oh my gosh.
They're doing a renovation on it and they're asking me to do the wood floors.
For those of you who own those homes, you definitely need Anthony to come over there and help you out. You'll be
absolutely.
Forget it. You'll be working forget about it.
Forget about it.
You'll have your work cut out for you for that one. Yeah.
No doubt.
Those homes are so beautiful. There was a point in time years ago where there was talk about just tearing them down and putting new stuff. And then somebody was smart and said, you know what? These are nice houses. So now they're all redone.
Yep.
And everybody's embracing the wood floors that are naturally there or originally there, I should say.
Well, you got to remember something, too. The older wood floors are even prettier than the newer wood floors.
Why?
New growth is different than old growth. If you take a piece of 100-year-old oak, okay, sand it down, put it next to a piece of brand new oak, the 100-year-old oak is going to have a much tighter, much more efficient grain. The new oak is going to have a big widespread ring, which is not as pretty as the old oak. And that goes for every species of wood. What they're doing now is they're speeding the growth on these trees so that they can get the wood to cut.
Really?
But years ago, what they did was they tore down what was around that they needed torn down, and they used what was there, which had been there for hundreds of years.
Oh, wow.
If we tore down a 100-year-old oak tree today, what would happen?
Yeah.
The world, everybody would go crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So now they're growing trees just to cut down. So they're speed.
So I had no idea.
Yeah.
And you can tell right away. Now, do you need to know that before you do what you do?
No, it doesn't matter. What does matter is if you've got a repair and you don't have any old oak for me to use, and I can't get any, then the new oak is going to be a slightly different color. There's no two ways about that.
So when
is it always oak?
No. I just recently did a Brazilian cherry job, a walnut job, right here in Florida, down in the Villages, both of them. There's all kinds of wood: maple, pine, everything under the sun.
Really? What? eBay?
Epay.
Oh, I think it's eBay.
Epay is harder than iron.
Really?
Yeah, it's really hard stuff. Like I've used it to hammer nails. Like I needed a hammer and a piece of it was sitting there, and I just banged the nail with it.
Wow.
It's that hard. And when we have to sand it, it's a nightmare.
So how did this start for you? I'm guessing it started in Brooklyn. Were you working for your father or something? It started
really simple. No, absolutely not. My father was a presser for the Ladies Garment Union.
Oh, really?
My grandparents were a seamstress and a tailor. I was working in a bank, making minimum wage. I got married.
Where, in Brooklyn?
Manhattan. I was working for Manufacturers Hanover Trust. And my best friend was 5 years older than me, and he met my wife-to-be. And he grabbed me one day, dragged me into the side, and he says, have you listened to your future wife? I said, of course. He goes, no. Have you listened to her? I said, what do you mean? He goes, all she wants is babies. How are you going to support that on minimum wage? So he says, come with me tomorrow. He takes me into the Ralph Lauren Polo Castle on Park Avenue. She did. That's all she wanted. So we go to this job, and it's hard work, and I'm killing myself. And by the time I was done, I realized I had a real aptitude for this. So, and he was promising me ridiculous money. He wasn't giving it to me right away, but he promised me that within a year, either I would be making that much money or he'd give it to me out of his pay.
Okay.
I says, but BS.
Right.
Well, 6 months later, he sat me home for a week, and I opened up my own business.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, really?
6 months.
What did you need? What machines did you need, or equipment did you need?
You need a what they call the big machine, either a drum sander, a belt sander, or something. You need an edger. You need a buffer. You need a vacuum. You need finish, sandpaper, hand scrapers, hand tools.
And how many years ago was this?
37 years ago.
How many children since? How many babies?
Two. Two. Paid for them in cash.
Good.
Paid for both kids in cash. Paid for everything in cash. My kids are grown.
And where are they now?
Staten Island, Jersey.
Are they working in the same line of work?
No. My son is computer graphic design. My daughter is working in the medical field, durable medical equipment.
Oh, wonderful.
By the way, I'm also an American board certified orthotist.
A what?
Orthotist, someone who does braces and artificial limbs.
Really?
You do?
Oh my gosh.
I did. You can't do it here, which is why I'm back to sanding floors. Because here they have licensure. It takes about 12 years to get.
So you would make a wooden leg for somebody?
Not a wooden leg. That's old technology.
What is it?
We would actually use a aircraft grade aluminum.
Not a wooden leg.
And springs and fiberglass to make the socket, make them super lightweight. Some of them are actually motorized.
Okay, well, I just trying to make a connection between the wood. So
no, there was no connection.
Carpentry skills are not necessary.
Yes and no, because you're fabricating stuff. So the fact that I was good at fabricating, floors and other things made it easier for me to do that as well. So I had an eye. When you finish sandpaper marks out of a floor, it takes an eye. That same eye works when you're grinding metal, when you're doing things like that. So it kind of relates. But
it's almost like sculpting then.
Yeah, almost. Wow. Sometimes it was, the shape of the leg, the shape of the calf, you want it to match the other one. But anyways, I had gotten out for a short time due to injuries. My knees got hurt and stuff. So I was like, I got to support my family. So I went and did something else and got board certified on it.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
And that's too bad you can't do a lateral move with that certification for down here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Florida is one of 2 states that has licensure.
Oh.
So it's a 12-year process to get certified.
12 years?
Well, you got to be a resident of the state 10 years. And according to their new rules, which is 4 years of college, 4 years of specialty, 4 years of residency. So by the time you're done with all that, you're qualified by the state to sit for the test, but I would be 65 years old. I'm done.
When you go into someone's home and they have their floors that they want to be redone, do they move the flooring around? So instead of being straight, they want some areas curved and things take down old walls, put up new ones.
There have been plenty of times where people were doing construction and renovating, and now once they've moved their walls, all of a sudden they've got hollow spots where the flooring didn't exist because there was a 2x4 on the floor.
Right.
So they'll ask me to come in, and I can basket weave that back in again sometimes, most times, not always.
Take us by the hand, if you could, with words. The typical job you get. What happens first? They call you on the phone, I'm assuming.
Yes. The way it works is simple. You give me a phone call, and I come look at it. Because if I don't look at it, we don't know what we're doing. There was people that give estimates over the phone. I'm not one of those. I have to see what we're doing, because if there's a problem that you didn't know about, but I could spot, I could tell you up front, listen, here's a situation we should avoid, or whatever. We could save it or whatever. So I go to the job and I look at it. I check for as many problems as possible to make sure they're not there. And they give you a price. You tell me what you want. We go through a design consultation where, this is my furniture, but that's not what I'm going to have. So I got to pick a color that's going to go with this. And you show me pictures, which of course is harder. But again, we go through the whole design consultation and see what's beneficial. I went to a house the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and they had bamboo flooring. Bamboo flooring should never be sanded.
Oh,
it's grass. So what they do is they sit it in a resin. If you sand the top of the resin, it will start to split.
Oh, wow.
And anything you sand is extremely toxic once it's airborne.
Oh, really?
So you don't want to sand it.
Oh.
So I went in and they would insistent they wanted to sand the living room, dining room. So I gave them a price for that. And I said to them, here's a price if I just, because it's not in terrible shape. So if I just abrade the floor and coat the entire floor, all the bedrooms, not just the living room, dining room, because you got kids in those other bedrooms. They're going to be brutal on it.
Yeah.
He goes, I didn't think of that. I said, so now if we give it a coat and you get 7 years out of this floor more, isn't that a good thing? So it actually cost him less by my recommendation.
By just showing up.
He asked for.
Yeah, because we don't know. I mean, it's like everything else. We think we know, like, especially in this day and age, we Google things, and all of a sudden we are an expert.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that happens with everything. And so having an actual expert come out and look at it would make sense.
Yeah.
So once there's a floor I want to tell you about and ask you if you've seen it so that you can comment on what you would do to repair it. Maybe they don't want it repaired. Maybe they like the look. But it's in the Charlie Horse restaurant. Have you ever gone there on Silver Spring Boulevard?
No, I haven't. Remember, I'm only here a short time.
Okay, well, if you ever go there, just walk like to your left, I guess, and the floor is so worn through. But in a way, it looks cool. You know what I mean? It looks like rustic or something.
It may have been that they actually did it on purpose.
They might have, you think?
I have done that.
Yeah?
It's called distressing a floor to make it look aged.
Okay.
When we did the Ralph Lauren Polo Castle on Park Avenue, we actually they took brand new fountain blue panels that they just milled out of reclaimed oak, and then they wanted it to look 150 years old. So we beat it up with locks and chains and chair scoop chisels and chiseled it and actually cut holes into it and put plugs to make it look like repairs were done. We stained the edges of it to give it water stains to make it look. When we were done with it, it looked like it had been there 200 years.
Really?
Do you know who
Brand new.
Oh my gosh! The people. First of all, Disney comes to mind, but so does the Villages. The Villages likes to make things look like they've been around a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had any calls from down there.
I get a lot of calls from down there.
Yeah.
I advertise down there too, and I've done quite a bit of work in that area.
Yeah. Does anybody? I mean, that would be so cool. A lot of people might want, especially for a restaurant. Maybe that is what they wanted. I don't know.
In a restaurant, they might have done that on purpose. It's possible. Restaurants and bars I find the weirdest requests. So they'll say, I want it to be protected, but I don't want it to look like it's got no finish on it. I want it to look raw.
Have you ever had?
It's very difficult, but I can do it.
But you can do that.
Have you ever had? This is kind of an out of left field question, but have you ever had somebody who said, "I have this wood that's from the trees my father grew in his backyard, or from the railroad ties that used to run behind my house. Can we make a floor out of it?" Railroad ties might be hard, right?
I actually have, and there is a mill that I can ship the wood to, or have you ship your wood to, and they will mill it to spec. So that we can use it on the floor.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty amazing.
They'll cut it down to 3/4 inch. They'll put the tongues and grooves on it. It'll be totally milled as if it was new wood, any other wood.
Really?
So they'll actually reuse it. If it's, of course, they can only reuse what they can of it. So let's say the piece of wood is 1.25 inches thick, and we want 3/4 inch wood. then half inch of it is garbage. There's nothing we can do with it. So when they mill it, that doesn't usually survive.
On your business card, you have VOC compliant finishes. What are those?
Okay, so VOC is the volatile chemicals that come out that are toxic to us. Okay, benzene, things like that. All of my finishes are waterborne. When I say waterborne, I mean that you actually use water to cut them if you're going to use anything, which we don't use anything. But if you were going to, you would be using water. If you put it on a table and sat there sniffing it all day, you're not getting high off of it. You're not getting feeling foggy off of it. It doesn't even have a bad odor. So that kind of finish is safe. The nice thing about that is people who are going to have a baby or pregnant or just had a baby or have little kids at home, that's a major concern because little kids get affected more than us. Dogs, especially small dogs, get affected more than us. Years ago, we used to put down lacquer and polyurethane. So it was lacquer sealer, which if you were in the house while we put it down, you would be stumbling to get to your car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's strong
stuff. That bad.
Terrible.
Stuff.
And then the polyurethane would linger. It would take 24 hours for it to dry and 7 days to cure and 3 months to get the odor out of your house.
Oh my gosh.
So people hated us. And then they started changing the rules about what's allowed and what's not, and, because of safety of the environment and everything. And in the process of doing that, they made these waterborne urethanes better than the old oil-based urethanes. So once they did that, I just converted over. And I find it to be so much better.
It's a better
It's
product.
a different look. Don't get me wrong. It's a different look. I can get the same color, but you're not going to get that thick glass light bowling alley look that you used to years ago. It's not that kind of a finish.
Anthony,
you do bowling alleys?
I did. I wouldn't do it again if I could avoid it.
Anthony, talk to the person who he and his wife have been saying, I'd love to rip up these carpets, but that wood floor would be nice, but it's so horrible right now. Talk to that person if we can make a fictional story.
So here's the thing. When we look at what we already have, it's distressing. I said to my fiance, let's buy this house. Oh, it's disgusting. It's all beat up. I said, but when I'm done with it in 3 months, it'll be gorgeous. No, I can't do it. Because she couldn't see past it. She couldn't envision. Okay. So what you should do is go on my website. Look at the before and after pictures and see which floor kind of looks like the mess you have in that living room.
Okay, good.
And then look at the after picture and see what your floor could look like. And would you like that look in your house?
What is your website?
It's www.finishtouchfloors.com.
I'm going to look it up. Finish, touch, not finishing.
Right. I wanted a .com and I couldn't get finishing touch. It was taken in every which way, shape, or form. So I got finishtouchfloors.com.
Okay. Just remember that. Don't put the ing.
No ing on there.
Look at that, Robert. That looks so nice.
I installed that.
Already.
Oh, that is
we
gorgeous.
installed that job.
Well, you have a design and everything in the floor. It's not just
that has a
wood
medallion.
panels.
Let's call it a three-dimensional medallion. And those are fantastic. That is what you put in a great hall. So when you've got a hallway with the
oh my
big
gosh,
staircase.
that looks so nice. Let's see what else.
That is gorgeous. Absolutely.
That is my favorite one. The one you put on the front. That's awesome.
That's my favorite job of all time.
Is that right? Is that separate pieces of
yes.
wood?
What we did was we milled it off site and we put it on a backing. And then we put the flooring down, laid it all down, and routed out precisely for that.
Oh my
gosh. And then
gosh.
dropped it into place and
Oh
glued
my
it in.
gosh.
That's a work of art right there.
Wow.
Yeah, that
is
had to
a
be
work
milled
of
off
art.
site. You couldn't do that on site. It's just too intricate.
Oh, the wood paneling on steps. I never thought about that.
Yes, we do wood steps. Absolutely.
Inside and out, or?
Well, I don't normally do kickbacks and risers. The piece that you kick as you step up the steps, or the side stringers and things like that. But I do the step itself with the nosings.
Oh, that was the before and after pictures. Let me see. Okay.
That job was right here in Ocala. It was an older house. That's actual 3/4 inch parquet flooring.
So these are like tiles of wood.
Yeah, it's a 5 inch by 5 inch square in an alternating pattern that's considered parquet. And parquet is very difficult because you've got the grain going in two different ways, the machine leaves a lot of marks
on
whatever you're going across.
Yeah.
You go with the grain is nice, but when you go across the grain, it's bad. But I have a machine. I'm one of 4 people in this country that have this machine that sands the floor with diamonds. And because I'm not using a machine that's spinning forward, instead it's rotating underneath it, it doesn't leave those marks.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
It also makes it that I'm able to resand and refinish engineered flooring.
Oh.
In case those who don't know, but engineered flooring is only about a 1/16 of an inch of real wood on top of plywood, which they do a lot of here in Florida because you're on cement slabs.
Is that what they call veneer?
No, it's engineered. It's a veneer of wood on it, but it's an engineered floor.
Okay.
And usually they're pre-finished with aluminum oxide. Very tough to cut. And what happens is you'll hear of your friend who had a bad experience with a floor sander who came in, sanded the floor, and sanded the veneer off. Because aluminum oxide is extremely difficult to scratch. To sand it with sandpaper, you have to actually go to very heavy grit. And that, as soon as you get through the aluminum oxide, just tears up that 1/16 of an inch. What I do instead is I use diamonds. Diamonds like to scratch hard things, but they really don't like organic stuff that's soft. So the diamonds will get through the finish and give me a hard time on the actual wood.
Oh my gosh.
So once I get all the finish off, I can go with ultra fine sandpaper on lighter machines and make for a beautiful job and only take off about a business card's worth of finish, which is about 1/3 of the top of that flooring.
Oh, wonderful. That's excellent.
In your ad, you say, are you considering covering your old wood floors? And then you say,
forget about it.
and it makes so much sense because, I mean, how many times have you has somebody said, oh my God, that's so ugly, let's go get a carpet. But the real thing they wish they could do was to get that floor back to it, but they don't believe it can be done.
Most times they don't realize it, or they feel it's going to be too out there. What they don't realize is wood flooring is a permanent floor. It's a permanent part of the house. If you install a wood floor, you raise your house value by exactly what you spent, if not 150% more. Okay. If you install carpeting, laminate, vinyl, it's all temporary flooring.
Yeah.
So people say, well, we'll change that. When they walk into wood floors, they're not saying they're changing it.
I'm curious if you can, somebody listening right now might be thinking, that would be great if I had a wood floor, but I don't. I have a concrete floor under my carpet. Talk to that person. What can you do for that person?
What we do with those is we actually come in and, of course, the carpet's got to be removed, okay? And then we've got to get any glue or backing or anything else. So that same machine that I use to sand the engineered flooring with different bits will smooth out the concrete enough that I can lay a nice flat floor. Because flat's the key. You want everything flat. So once you've got that done, we come in and put down a chemical moisture barrier. The reason we use a chemical moisture barrier rather than a glue moisture barrier, which is easier, okay? The chemical moisture barrier actually still allows some moisture to come through the concrete. Concrete will always vent off moisture forever. So if you don't allow it to ever come through and all you use is glue, it'll push the glue off the cement sooner or later. The pressure builds up. And now you've got a failed floor. So if I put down the chemical barrier and then I put down the appropriate glue for it and glue the floor down, it's allowing it to vent out gently so we never have a problem. And it's not enough moisture to cup the floor or make it buckle or anything else.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. That doesn't mean that if you flood the house, it's not going to come up.
Sure.
That's
different. But I think the most common concern would be the humidity. Will that be a problem?
Well, 90% of the houses in Florida are running central air.
Right.
So you have no humidity.
So that's not a problem?
There is the humidity in the cement that's coming from the ground. So that, again, the vapor barrier will allow it to come through slowly, so slowly that it can't affect the RH factor of the wood and alter the state of the wood.
I had a friend that lived in Ocklawaha right off of Lake Weir, and she had a house right there on the lake with a wooden floor. Beautiful, beautiful. And every year she would strip it and do whatever she did to make it shiny again. Do you recommend that a person to do that themselves, or should they get a professional?
Here's the thing. there are some people in this world who are just, they're good with anything they do, okay? They don't do it for a living, but no matter what they do, they're good at it, okay? Floors are a weird thing because it requires certain equipment. And when you go and rent it, the equipment is not the greatest to begin with, and it's been abused. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know how to handle it, you could do more damage than good. I walked into a job one time, and the person decided to sand it themselves. They went to the rental place, rented the equipment. They got the appropriate paper, the appropriate equipment, and they didn't understand how to utilize the machine. And in doing so, they dug these gigantic grooves in the floor.
Oh, no.
Down about 1/8 of an inch. Now, 1/8 of an inch is pretty deep.
Yeah.
So now, here's a relatively new floor. Maybe it's already been sanded once. And when I was done with it to get that out, they no longer could sand it again. Mm-hmm. I got away with it one time to fix it, but I had to go down more than 1/8 of an inch to get the floor flat over the whole floor.
Oh my gosh.
So that winds up costing them more money because it's going to cost me more money to do the job. It's going to cost me more time, more sandpaper.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to charge for it. So in essence, and that was the last time they could sand that floor. So the next time they had to sand that floor was a rip out and replace, because they decided to do it themselves. So do I recommend it? No. Especially today's day and age, putting down finish is very tricky, okay? It doesn't want to sit properly. So preparation for it, you've got to be old hat at it. If you're not, it just doesn't look right. So have people done it and said, oh, I'm so thrilled. Yeah, I've seen them online. I look at the photos and I go, my God, if I did a job like that, the people would not only wouldn't they pay me, they'd sue me. But they're happy with it. And I don't want to distress them. You're happy, enjoy. You know, if you want it perfect, call me.
Excellent.
Yeah. And at that note, you call Anthony and tell us your phone number.
I don't.
You don't know? It's 32. I can tell you.
I'm sorry. I haven't memorized it yet. It's a new number.
It's area code 321. Where is that? Is that New York?
Actually, that's okay. It's a Popka.
Okay. 321-396-2657. 321-396-2657. Call us here if you need that repeated. We had a lady call yesterday asking for your phone number. And Anthony can come out, look at your floor, and make it more beautiful. And then you'll be happy. Get rid of that carpet. Nobody likes them anymore. We don't want carpet anymore.
Carpet smells, holds odors, holds body dander. It creates allergy problems, dog issues.
And you can't dance on it.
No, he doesn't dance very well. And it wears out.
Thank you, Anthony.
No problem. My pleasure.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Anthony with Finishing Touch Floors. Are you considering covering your old wood floors? Forget about it. Let Finishing Touch Floors restore your old wood floors. We offer sanding, refinishing, installation, and custom colored stains. With over 35 years experience, you need to call 321-396-2657. Let us put the finishing touch on your wood floors. For your free estimate, call 321-396-2657. That's 321-396-2657.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. We are located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. I'd like to invite you to stop by and see our new boutique area and meet our staff of professional stylists. Here at Hello Gorgeous, we are ready to update your look with the latest trends. And with summer here, it's the perfect time to brighten up your look. So make your appointment now for those highlights and Brazilian blowout.